this has been kind of like a thinking process for me, which is at this point, the razor I have is if it requires me, it doesn't work. The next one, which was a great lesson for me this year, was delegation is the price of scaling. And so I believe that the spiritual path of entrepreneurship is a consistent relinquishing of control. And so we were employees at some time, likely for many people, and then you stop doing that, and then you decide to start a business. And you typically do that because you want to, quote, have freedom. And so then you say, I will have complete control. But in order to have true freedom, you actually can have no control. And so at every level, in the very beginning, you do everything, and then you say, I'm gonna have somebody who helps me with this. So you give a little control. And then the next level is like, okay, well, the doing I've delegated, but the management, no one can manage like I can manage. And then you give the management away. And you're like, okay, well, no one can direct or lead like I can lead. And then eventually you give the leadership away. And so hardworking people, and this is what's really interesting about this, hardworking people have a hard time coming up with non-hardworking solutions. And so this has been particularly difficult for me because like I will look at problems and say, oh, I wonder if I can outwork this problem. When Bill Gates talked about this saying, it's really good to have lazy executives because they will try and think of non-high energy ways to solve problems. And so the hard worker won't feel like delegating because they want to feel useful. And it's incredibly difficult, but if you draw the line, you have to say that you will not do anything in order for it to scale. Because otherwise you will absolutely be the limiter of your own growth. And I don't think we are as special as we think we are. And so this has been kind of like a thinking process for me, which is at this point, the razor I have is if it requires me, it doesn't work. That's how I think about it now. Like we have to scale me down to zero so we can scale it up to infinity. Otherwise I will always be the limiter.